What's going on, everybody? Back here at the University of Minnesota, absolutely pumped. It's been about 8 years since I was a player here, and I'm just so excited to drop a few words on them today. Pumped up, talk about their heart, talk about their identity, the link between their heart and their mind, and how that can create more freedom in their life and freedom on the field. So let's get it.
Right? Who is sitting at your table right now? They are sitting right next to each other. Fortunately, this is my dog, and he didn't do that. It didn't matter who else was there. He was invested in me, I'm invested in him. So when I tell you that you're on a 4-year, $144,000 contract, the University of Minnesota, the U, is invested in you. Are you invested in it? Are you invested in your boys right here? There are more people sitting in this room that are gonna be best man at people's wedding. You're gonna be godparents. You're going to be the first person that somebody calls when their parents died from cancer. You're going to be the first person they pick up the phone when you have your first kid. These are the people that you're going to serve. These are the people that you're going to call. So when I say you're not for everybody, but you are for somebody's, the somebody's are right here in this room. How can you serve them? If you look at Tony Dungy, he played here in 1977. Right? He didn't get drafted because he was black. Warren Moon didn't get drafted that year because he was black. He goes to the NFL. They make him transfer from a quarterback to a cornerback. Quarterback gets hurt that first year with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Guess who they put into play? Tony Dungy. He was lights out that year as a quarterback, but he couldn't play because he was black. Tony Dungy, then 4 or 5 years later, he goes on to coach the Buccaneers. NFC Championship, they're doing amazing things. They're balling out. The ownership gets tired of them not going to the Super Bowl. Tony Dungy's out. But then he goes to the Colts. And now he's got Peyton. You can remember those days. He was there from 01 to 08. And before the season, he did all these different things with teams. Right? He had made all these different adjustments. And he finally said, enough's enough. We're doing one thing this year. One thing. And he made the entire season before they won a Super Bowl about service. He said, if you do one thing this year, you serve. If you do one thing well, you encourage. And you find a way, no matter what's going on in your life, to serve the person next to you. And that was the entire team motto. And he finally broke through and they won that Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. So if there's one thing that you can do here when you leave, is how do I serve? How do I pick up the balls for the pitcher? How do I pick up all the extra balls? Like, we're always complaining about the little things that we got to do, right? 2014, you guys are already doing the little things well. You're already doing it. How do we continue and take it to another level? How do we serve each other academically? How do we serve each other in our relationships? And if you want to go to the next level, we talk a lot about accountability. How do you hold somebody accountable? I had a kid come up to me the other day. He's like, Lance, I can't seem to hold anyone accountable on my team. They're not working hard. I just don't understand. I was like, do you know your teammates? Do you even know them? You got to have relationship equity with each person here. Get to know their families. Get to know who they are. Get to know their visions and dreams, like what's going on with their life. When you start to know some things, now I can take a different approach. Right? Now you can pour into somebody, hey, I saw you doing that on Friday and Saturday. Right? I know you said you want this out of your life. Like, come on, let's go together. Let's not do that this time. Now with that, man, get to know one another. And as I conclude here, last thing, I know you gotta go, you gotta get out of here on time. It's impossible to reap a harvest if you constantly move your seed into new soil. So the first point, don't change who you are. The second point, you're not for everybody, you are for somebody. The somebodies are sitting right here. How do you serve? The last point is about your skill, your ability, and your uniqueness, okay? The roots of a tree underneath are 2 to 3 times larger than a tree's canopy. The roots of a tree are 2 to 3 times larger underneath the surface than the entire canopy that you see. So when we need to go deep, like we need to go deep. What would you say is your best skill? Why are you here?
Throw the ball over the plate.
Throw the ball over the plate. What about you?
Same thing.
Throw the ball over the plate. What about you? Your best skill. Curveball, whatever it is.
Slider.
Your slider. Okay. What about you?
You hit the ball.
You got so good contact, right? Because that's skill. What about you?
Catch the ball well. 15.
That's slow well, good team. What about you?
Basketball.
Basketball. The heater, baby, bro. Heater. So I was talking to this kid from University of Pacific. You guys might have played it with him at Rochester. We were having a conversation. He was playing at the Honkers this summer. And we're talking, and he's just having a lot of self-doubt. And he ended up transferring, and he's just wondering, like, am I even good enough, right? I'm like, brother, like, let's hold up. Hold up 1 second. What are you great at? Listen, I had a terrible changeup, right? If I spent all of my time practicing my changeup, that's taking away from time of making a good skill great. So if we constantly move our seed, like imagine someone who's gonna go farm, right? They gotta cultivate the land, right? They gotta plow the land, right? Then they gotta throw the seed down. Then they gotta water it, they gotta put fertilizer in it, and then you'll reap a harvest come July, right? You're gonna get something out of it. But if you plant that seed, and it's not yet summer, you think nothing's happening. This is happening. Roots are happening. So if I take that seed and I go, oh man, this isn't gonna work. And now I go plant it in new soil, we gotta start all the way over. So I told him, I was like, bro, what is your best skill? If you had to name one thing, there is one thing in your mind if I asked you what is your best skill and why you're here. University of Minnesota baseball has all of these pieces, there's 40 of them. You all have one unique piece to fit this puzzle, and everyone here is trying to win. The goal here is to win games, and you are a piece of the puzzle. But you gotta be you, you gotta be you, you gotta be you. If we all try to be like each other, or if we all try to be like the newest trend on social media doing that thing, right, then we all become this mixed blend, and now we got a terrible puzzle piece, and we're never gonna complete it. So I told him, he said, I'm a really good gap-to-gap hitter. I was like, all right, man, now let's focus. You be excellent gap-to-gap. Whatever it takes, be the best at that. Now, that doesn't mean you don't improve your skills in other areas to make you a well-rounded player, but you gotta hone in on your greatness. God has given you unique gifts and abilities that nobody else has. That slider, lean into that. Contact, lean into that. And then find ways in the rest of your life to lean into those things. How are you with family? How are you academically? You can do this. You absolutely can do this, but it comes down to belief in yourself. It comes down to belief in each other. Let's get focused on University of Minnesota soil. Let's focus right here. Everyone around you wants to win this thing. But we can't keep moving our seed. Figure out what it is that the coaches want out of you, the best skill that you're going to be utilized. I played with some guys that threw down here that are in the major leagues now. And they had one pitch. And it was a slider. Kyle Schwarber got one skill. He got one skill. Hits the ball over the fence. Right? Lean into those things. Be excellent at those. You guys are absolute miracles. You're 4 billion to 1. Nobody is like you. Nobody has a genetic code like you. And I'll leave you with this. The only one that can unlock your genetic code, the only one that can unlock your potential, and that has the key to your potential, is you and God. That's it. You got to do some soul digging. You got to figure out your unique combo that lights you on fire. And go and be that person. Y'all with me? Can y'all do that?
Yeah.
Let's get it, man. Thank you.
Yo, what's your favorite part about being a Gopher?
I'd say the atmosphere with the coaches and teammates too. It's no better place to be. The weather kind of sucks sometimes, but.
What about you, bro?
I'd say just the dudes. I mean,
The
like, you can't
dudes.
get better than hanging out with the guys, and it's exciting every day just to be able to come to practice and just be with your best friends all the time.
What up, everybody? Just wrapped up here with the Gopher baseball team. Man, what an absolute honor and privilege to speak. Just got done just sharing with them, like, you are enough. You got to lean into you. You got to lean into who you're called to be. And it was just an impactful. Great to see everybody. Thank you, 14, John Anderson. Thank you, Ty, Croft, Packy, everybody here. It's a first-class organization. If you're considering coming here, reach out. Reach out to the University of Minnesota baseball staff. This is a place you need to be, man. They got everything you need to be successful. But in order to be successful, you got to be successful up here. You got to have the right thought process. You got to have your heart and your mind attached to where you want to go. Your vision has to be bigger for your life, because God didn't just give you a vision to play here. God's given you a vision to play here to do what He's calling you to do. You got this. Let's get it.